Hi guys, I thought I'd give you some tips for playing the new Resident Evil game. Now, if you haven't ever played a Resident Evil game before, then some of the things might be a little bit strange or seem a little bit different. So the backgrounds to begin with in Resident Evil are not actual real objects. It's pre-rendered background, and that can make it kind of difficult for you to pick objects up. So some of the really important objects will have a glint to them, but sometimes things might be around a corner, they might not be perfectly in front of you. So what you might have to do if you're really struggling is to move around environments, tap A or whatever the respective button is, depending on whatever console you're playing on, just to try and loot for things that are there. Sometimes you can open drawers that don't look like they're opened, and that's the way that you find magazines. Also, look really, really carefully for objects that may look a little bit like they don't belong in the background. So objects that look like they're 3D instead of the pre-rendered backgrounds, maybe the lighting might be a bit different, are things you can usually interact with. And a lot of these things, if they've not already got a glint on them, might actually be items that you can sort of find, like ammunition clips and stuff underneath, or daggers, which are quite popular in this. So the daggers and the flashbang grenades themselves, they prevent you from getting injured when you get grabbed. So if a zombie grabs you, it'll automatically do this. You can assign it to be either the one of the little triggers, so the LB bumper or whatever it is on the PlayStation 4. It will sort of it will prevent the zombie from attacking you basically. So it'll grab you and then you'll either shove a flashbang in its mouth or you'll stab a knife in its head, which will cause it to drop. The flashbang will cause it to explode, and you do need to be out of a screen with them because you'll probably be affected by the damage, and that's what you need to avoid. Now, when you're playing the game, you get to choose at the beginning between Jill and Chris Redfield. Now, they aren't just like a character skin swap, they're a completely different game. If you're new to it, you might want to play as Jill to begin with because she's usually a little bit easier to play as. She can carry more items and she doesn't need to sort of have this kind of micromanagement where you need to sort of go back and forwards to the save boxes. Now, the save boxes themselves are kind of a little bit strange. If you go to a save box and put anything in it in one of the save rooms, then they will remain in any box that you access. So if you've got lots of equipment or you've got lots of herbs or ammunition, you're not going to lock them into one box. It's kind of like a teleporting box that will allow all your items to be available in any save room. A couple of other things you can do is you can aim up and down with the left stick. It's a little bit tricky, but when you're using a shotgun, if you aim up, you can actually blow a zombie's head straight off. Now, the zombies in this game, it's a new feature, so even if you have played it before, called Crimson Zombies. So if you drop a zombie and you haven't actually blown its head off, it does have a chance of coming back as a Crimson Zombie, which is faster and it's tougher. What you need to do is you'll find this in the East. You find this in the East save room. You can find a flask which you can fill up with kerosene, which you'll find in the save rooms as well, and then you can pour that onto the zombies and light them using your lighter in the inventory, which you'll always have. It's at the top right. That will destroy the zombie and it'll prevent them from coming back because they do get back up. Now, the biggest tip in this game that I can give you is don't actually fight the zombies. Unless you are pegged into a corner and you can't get past, just run straight past them and don't let them attack you. This means that you won't have to worry about them getting back up. You will have to worry about them being in the same area, but you'll have saved the ammo, and also they won't be a crimson zombie. Getting a headshot on them with the pistol is pretty much blind luck, and it's just the game kind of does that every now and then. So that's something to bear in mind. If you don't shoot all the zombies, you run past about sort of 75%, 50% and above, you'll end up with a lot of ammo. The same with herbs, which you can take and store in the chests. As long as you don't get grabbed, you can kind of run to one side of the corridor and let them run to that bit, and then when you run the opposite way, they might not grab you. If they do grab you and you've got one of the what I would call the safety items, the dagger and the grenade, then you'll be prevented from taking damage as well. So use those things. It's just to make your life a little bit easier. You can use the knife as well. I tend to put that straight into the box, but if you're really struggling on ammo, you can use a few shots to knock them down. When they're on the floor, you can get a few stabs in, which is something that I use whenever I struggle for bullets. But you should generally be okay. Just look out for the clips on the side. One clip will allow you to hold a load of ammo, so it's not actually an individual clip, so you can have quite a lot of that. Look out for the shadows as well as you go up and down in the floors, because sometimes you can see shadows from zombies clipping through, which will help you. Sometimes the reflections in mirrors, which helps you to see if there's a zombie off screen, because obviously you can't actually flick around the corners. Do save quite often. If you save maybe once every half an hour, you'll probably end up with more ink ribbons than you need. So if you try and budget in your head about 20 minutes and then save, then it means you're quite safe. You're not going to go back hours to whatever your last save point was. You'll be able to go back half an hour, probably do the next section better and save a lot of ammo. So that's probably one of the final tips just for the combat as well. Um, Selecting items as well, don't forget that lots of items in this game you can examine, and that doesn't mean you might need to rotate them around to the other side. And when you do that, sometimes you see things that will be unlocked. So like the arrowhead that we've collected in the video that's playing in the background, that arrowhead you can actually use as a key, but only after you've examined it. There are some books where you look at the back, some things might have switches on them. So if you are stuck, just make sure that you're having a look at some of the items that you've got very, very carefully, just to see if you've missed anything. If you want to aim really, really well, if there's a zombie anywhere near, just hit the left trigger. So that'll be on any kind of controller, so Xbox or PlayStation 4, and it should spin you around just to aim at it. So if you're going to go around a corner, you can use that just to help you to get around a corner without sort of running into one, because sometimes they are really, really quiet. So those are all the tips that I can think of at the moment. You probably will die a lot if you're new to the Resident Evil games, and certainly with the puzzles and things like that, you might be doing a bit of backwards and forwards. Remember, if you don't think you need anything for your inventory, it might be a good idea to keep your own little map. Just mentally jot down where you've found some of the things. So it's sometimes good. You'll see in my walkthroughs calling things like Kenneth Room or the Forest Room or a U hallway. Um, so you can just jot down what you might have found there, and that way you don't have to keep going back to the save box and trying your different items, because it can get a little bit tedious to do that. And also that way you don't have your like inventory full, so you can pick up more of the ammo, you can pick up more of the herbs, and then you've got those items sort of in their same location, because you can't actually drop stuff on the floor. You can only take them back to the save box. Okay, guys, so that's everything I can think of at the moment. If you've got any other things that you could contribute, that'd be great. Just stick those in the comments below, and if it's anything that I've missed, I'll whack those up in either a future video or they'll be there for people to look at in the comments. I am doing a walkthrough series for the game, so it's going to be a bit of a speed run to get through. I'm playing through as Chris first, uploading those videos on sort of a daily basis, and the first three should be up now. Um, and then I'll be doing a playthrough with Jill, which is a little bit quicker and, like I say, a little bit easier. So we'll attack the harder playthrough. It takes roughly about 3 hours if you're going very, very quickly, but in your first playthrough it might take you anywhere up to 10. Okay guys, thanks for watching.